SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
At Black Sheep Boutique, we don't want you to fit in. We want you to stand out. And we have everything you need to look the part this spring, from clothing to accessories. Visit one of our 2 locations in Tupelo and Saltillo, or visit our website at theblacksheeptupelo.com. Stand out this spring with the Black Sheep Boutique in Tupelo.
Everybody, welcome in on this Sunday edition of the podcast. My name is Michael Bork. I'm glad that you are here, as you always are. Ole Miss SWEEPS on the weekend, still undefeated are the Rebels after a little bit of a tougher test than they got in week 1, and then things get real over in Houston next weekend. But a successful weekend. They pitched the heck out of it. And so we'll talk about that, read some of your comments tonight on this edition of the show. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Just search Rebel Report and subscribe. And if you like what you hear, leave a rating and a review. But I would love for you, if you're watching or listening on YouTube, don't forget to hop on over to your favorite podcast app and subscribe there. And this edition is presented by Logan Smith Shelter Insurance. He's based in Brookhaven, but he will take care of you anywhere in Mississippi. He can take care of you anywhere in Mississippi for auto insurance, home, life, or business insurance. Any of those, give him a call. He's got award-winning services, and he will take care of you. 601-823-3500, 601-823-3500. Even if you have insurance, it's worth the phone call. Make the call, get a quote. You'll be surprised at what you get from Logan Smith at Shelter Insurance. Don't forget to remind him that I was the one that sent you there, and he brings you tonight's edition of this show. So I'm down pretty bad right now. We've been hit. The whole everybody has been hit in connection with it's getting passed around the school right now. Everybody's got it. My son brought it home, and then his mom got it, and then I got it, and now he's got it again. Everybody's getting it. And so I don't know if you can hear it in my voice. It's just we're on the struggle bus, and we did nothing today, he and I. We did watch hockey, though, which was awesome, by the way. I don't know if you guys got up early to watch that, because I'm here to tell you, I don't know why I can't adopt a hockey team. Actually, I know why. Because sports today are so hard to find. I want to adopt a team. I've got 2 really, really, really good friends that live in Nashville, and I would love to be a Predators fan and go visit them and go to a Preds game and stuff like that. But how do you watch them? I can't just turn on my TV and be like, oh, here's the Preds game. I have to buy another subscription service. And I already have to have half a dozen of them as it is. It's terrible. It's the worst. So that's why. But I want to adopt hockey so bad, because if you guys watched it today, it was absolutely unbelievably electric. And the thing about that sport in particular is how quick the momentum swing, the moments that can change everything happen. It's every 10 seconds there is a play that can change everything. Whereas in football or in baseball or even in basketball, it takes longer for those moments to build up and happen. And I love it. I mean, I was stressed all morning, and he was just watching, but not really watching, as 6-year-olds do. But I mean, every single second I am on the edge of my seat, stressed out about this hockey game. And I mean, Hellebuck was amazing in goal. That save, that stick save, if you haven't seen it, the above image of that is unbelievable. And then Hughes, the hero, who's, bleeding out. He took a high stick earlier in the game. His teeth are cut in half. He's bleeding out of his mouth. And he gives the best post-game interview, which I currently can't play on the radio show tomorrow because whoever, I guess NBC, has copyright stricken everybody's video of it, which is annoying as hell. Because it was an amazing interview. Again, bleeding, just bleeding, and God, I love this country so much. And this was all for you guys. And it was amazing. Had a blast doing that. And then a Greenville native won on the PGA Tour today. So despite being down bad and sick and lazy and all that, had a pretty good sports day. And of course, you guys aren't here for hockey or for the PGA Tour, although I'm trying, I'm efforting. I hope I can make it happen to visit with a PGA Tour member who went to Ole Miss. I hope we can do that soon because off-season conversation, and I hope that can happen. I'm working on that for you guys. But you're here for baseball. In baseball, Ole Miss got another sweep this weekend over Missouri State. Game 1, watched it along during the radio show. 11-6 was the final. A bunch of guys scattered a bunch of hits. Decker, Utermark, Furness, Becerra, Reuter all had 2 hits in the game. Foley had a grand slam mixed in there as well. Reuter's been just awesome this season. What is he hitting right now? He's hitting 500 at the moment. 12 hits in his 24 at-bats. He's also walked 4 times as well for good measure. He's been awesome. But in that game, I think that if it were anybody else, I would be more concerned. Like if it were Libert doing what Elliott's done to start the season, I'd be a little bit more worried. Elliott goes 4 2/3, gave up 5 runs, 4 of them earned, walked 6. I mean, his command obviously was awful. They also let him extend into the game a little bit, and I'm curious about that reason. We're supposed to visit with Bianco on the radio show tomorrow. I will ask him about that. Just, hey, Elliott's pitch count was higher than any of your other starters all season. Were you letting him work through some issues? What was the reason behind that? Because I'm curious. They let him throw almost 100 pitches in game 2, whereas if you look at Townsend only threw 63, and Libert, he did throw 84 today, and he was great. We'll get to that in a second. But if it were Libert, if it were Townsend doing what Elliott did in game 1, I would be a little bit more concerned. I'm a big proponent. I'm a big sample size guy. I like reacting to what I know as opposed to projecting if I can help it anyway. We'll do that with football a lot. Like, I know Ole Miss has an elite quarterback. I know they have an elite running back. I know the interior 3 on the offensive line is back, and so on and so forth. It's easier to talk about a team when you know more about them as opposed to projecting out what you think they could be. Same thing with Elliott. I know what he is, and I know what he's capable of, and all of you do too. And you've seen him pitch well in big spots, and he has not been perfect to start the season or anything close to it. But I'm just so unbothered by him walking 6 in February. And maybe I should be. Maybe that's an elementary way to approach it. Maybe that's just whatever. Doesn't matter. I am not bothered at all about Hunter Elliott struggling in February. It does not move me in any way, shape, or form. He will be fine. Until proven otherwise, I'm going to think that he will be fine. Game 2, Townsend was good again, really efficient again, 4 complete, struck out 8, only walked 1, gave up 2 hits. Rabe was better than like his line looks. 3 1/3, did give up 3 runs, but I think he was fine. Koenig shuts the door, only giving up 2 hits in 1 2/3. And then Libert was really good, scattered 6 hits and 5 complete, struck out 7, only gave up a couple of runs. Hooks was awesome. Bianco said in the post game today, just remember, he said it to his team actually, that they put the video out online, that Hooks was dominant, 4 strikeouts and 2 complete. And then the door was shut there at the end as well. Pitching was excellent this weekend for Ole Miss. And, it's Missouri State. I think the competition level, does it increase this weekend? Baylor got swept in Round Rock. Ohio State took 2 from Memphis, but lost to Louisiana Tech twice. Coastal Carolina had a weird weekend as well, but that's a really good team. So competition level does increase a little bit this weekend, but I think that it's pretty clear, even though it's only been 2 weeks, that the pitching staff is, to me, as advertised. This offense is going to hit. I know there's been some struggles. There's a comment here about, where was it? Pachella is struggling at the plate. Foley has Not been particularly great either relative to expectation. Furness doesn't have a home run yet on the season. Federico's only hitting 217. I think he'll end up being better than that. But this offense is going to hit. But when they have an off weekend or when they have an off day like they had today, the confidence that they have and the depth that they have in pitching, not only starters, but guys coming out of the pen, I think is apparent. And that was a big off-season conversation, is that, hey, they really believe in this pitching staff. And again, the SEC is a different animal, but you can see why everybody was so excited about this pitching staff. The efficiency in which they operate is really impressive, and a lot of different options. And they were really, really, really good this weekend. And that's why they swept. I mean, they swept because of pitching. Cleaner in the field, still had a couple of errors. I mean, unfortunately, right now at shortstop, you've got your everyday shortstop already has 4 errors this season. That's got to improve. And again, better this weekend, but that still has to improve. Your everyday shortstop is fielding 862 right now. So that's got to keep getting better. But it was sure as hell, it was a lot cleaner than it was to start. So that's a positive as well. So good weekend overall. I didn't get to watch every pitch as much as I wanted to anyway. I did watch a lot, but not every pitch. But pitching looks outstanding. And just another successful weekend for Ole Miss. So there you go. We'll read some of your comments. This is going to be a shorter one, but we'll read your comments after I tell you the podcast is brought to you in part by Priority One Bank, to make you their priority every day. 16 locations, online banking platform that is really the best in the business, and also local loan servicing and decision making. Switch with me, bank with me at Priority One Bank, because that's what I did. I switched to Priority One Bank when they hopped on board, and I certainly do not regret it. So bank with me at Priority One Bank. Also, Advantage Business Systems, absms.com. If you're a Mississippi business and you need office technology, that's the website. Tell them that I sent you there. How we doing? We're doing good, man. Really good sports weekend. Really good sports day today. Good evening, my friend. Glad to see you. Winning even when you struggle is a good sign. Absolutely. And you know, pitching travels, right? So there's just so much confidence in that staff right now, and there should be. How much NIL should fans be comfortable with spending on basketball? So it's an interesting question, because I think that doing whatever you can to win in basketball is a smart decision. Basketball is valuable, even at a place like Ole Miss, where baseball matters a whole heck of a lot. And baseball at Ole Miss pays for itself, which is a very important thing. Makes a little bit of money, but it definitely pays for itself. So whatever you're investing in baseball, you're getting in return. So the idea that you have to pick basketball or baseball, maybe I'm not approaching this intelligently. Maybe I am, but you have people that argue that, you know, Ole Miss invests too much in baseball. Well, do they? Because they get a return on that investment. Like they don't lose money on baseball, so it pays for itself. You're losing money on other sports. Questioning those investments is fair, but baseball pays for itself. So if you get every dollar you put in back, you're fine. So I don't understand that argument as, you spend too much on baseball. And there's not that many people that think like that, but there are some. You see the arguments online. I just disagree with them. Baseball pays for itself. I think basketball is worth investing in. You saw it last year. You not only made a Sweet 16 run, but the crowds and how infectious meaningful basketball is. This particular team has been a failure. There's no other way around it. It's been an absolute failure. And I don't think it means that you're spending too much on basketball. I don't think it means investing in basketball is a bad investment because this team is a failure. They're non-competitive. They're bad. It's a failure. I don't think that means you stop investing in the sport. I think it means that the head coach needs to do a better job of putting a roster together and look, everybody's allowed a down year, but this is pathetic. They're not down; they're bad. It's a horrible product right now, and coming off of the Sweet 16, it's just hard to envision that they got to this place. And I don't want to be too harsh. I know it's a larger conversation to be had. I know that Beard is a really good coach and has a really good track record, but if Trilly Donovan is correct, and he is looking to get out, namely to Arizona State, if and when it comes open, or Kansas State, I don't think you change the contract at all. I don't think you fight after what you're seeing on the floor right now, because they're pathetic. They're pathetic. I like Chris Beard, brought Ole Miss to its second Sweet 16 ever. But somebody on ESPN said, blamed this season on Ole Miss. Well, it's just, that's a tough job. They gave him the salary that was asked for and the money that was demanded to build a roster. I don't buy that. And it may not be true. And if it's not true, ignore everything that I'm talking about right now. Completely ignore it. Ignore it. If he does, in fact, want out after Ole Miss threw him a career lifeline and has invested in the way that they have invested, then so be it. You don't fight. You have a current contract. It's a massive contract. Going to keep funding NIL. If that's not good enough for you, it's not good enough for you. But I promise that you can find a coach that can have a team that's better than this one right now. I know that's harsh, and that's kind of like prisoner of the moment stuff, because again, they went to the Sweet 16 literally last season. But I would not engage in changing a contract if Kansas State or Arizona State come. It's a huge contract, mega donations into NIL, and the product is horrendous. I don't think you increase compensation after what you've put on the floor. That's not acceptable to me, and I wouldn't engage in that. Basketball is worth investing in. This product is not worth increasing the investment in because Kansas State or whatever is open, in my opinion. And again, if that's not true, then ignore everything I said. But Trilly Donovan is, clearly really clued in. So, thoughts on Pacello's struggles at the plate? Not looking comfortable at all. If he has another really bad weekend, you start looking at maybe mixing things up there. I think you give him another week. Gosh, who do they have in the midweek? What is it? Is it Austin P this week? Sorry, guys. I know I'm sniffling. I don't mean to be. Sorry, I know that's really unattractive to look at, too, for those of you watching. It's SEMO. It's SEMO this week. Yeah, you give him another week. And if the struggles continue, you consider, giving someone else a shot. Take back what I said a few shows ago about the Olympics. After the Olympics hockey finish, I had a strong urge to blare out Free Bird at max volume. Heck yeah. Just started watching baseball this year and was disappointed to see no Ole Miss teams on ESPN this coming week. Where can I watch? Okay, so I don't know if you're going to have to pay for it or not. It's Astros.com is where you'll watch the games this weekend. And I don't know if they'll have the link available for me already. Let's see. I can't find it. I can't. I'll figure it out. Well, we will do this together before the weekend, I promise. I can't immediately find it, but Astros.com is where Ole Miss lists the TV. So Ole Miss got their total defense back in baseball? No. So there are new faces. So new face at second base. Unimark obviously playing third instead of second now. Federico in the outfield, but two new outfielders as well. So a mix, obviously. Hope and pray you guys start feeling better. We're doing okay. He's doing a lot better than me right now. He's doing fine. He's just, he's like at the end of it. I'm at the beginning. That's how it goes, man. I know that you just got engaged. If you and the missus start having kids, you'll experience it too. The parents listening to this know. Kid comes home one day from school with a little cough, and then it goes to you, and then it goes to everybody around you, and then the kid recovers, and then you recover, and then the kid comes back to from school one day with another cough, and it's just an endless cycle. Yeah. He said in the postgame that Elliott earned the right to go deeper into games. Oh, for sure. But my question is not necessarily about do you trust him to do it? It's more of, you're keeping your other guys on a pitch count. Is it worth extending your ace in February? I don't know. Maybe it's a dumb question. Appreciate the super chat, man. Thank you. Thank you a ton. I really appreciate you. Why, in your opinion, does ESPN, without getting yourself in trouble, I won't get in trouble for this, does ESPN give time and effort into women's basketball coverage and they can't be bothered to do the same for college baseball? Numbers are close. Well, to be honest with you, it's because the numbers are greater. That's why. You guys would be shocked at how badly the streams are watched. The SEC Network Plus streams are watched. College baseball does not do well ratings wise. And the women's basketball tournament does better than the baseball tournament. For sure. Now, baseball is growing. It's growing. But women's basketball does get watched by more people than baseball does. It just does. Especially come tournament time. So I think that's why. I do think that they could do a much better job at promoting college baseball, especially in SEC country. People are really starting to care and it's growing, and I don't think they're giving that its due. But women's basketball does have an audience. It does. College baseball needs to be platformed more often. Do you ever see the city of Nashville ever having an NBA or MLB team? If so, then which one is more likely? And do you see expansion teams or do you see teams relocating? Good question. So the NBA is expanding, but they're doing it out west. It's going to be Vegas and Seattle. There was that thing a few months ago about the Grizzlies looking into moving to Nashville if like crime doesn't get better or something. I mean, there's a chance that Nashville gets both of them, maybe, but it would be relocation before expansion. And if you made me bet on one, I would bet on, what would I bet on? Baseball before basketball. Do you see the day where the state of Mississippi gets a pro sports team? No, not any of the bigger leagues. No. I made a joke on Twitter, and people in Louisiana did not like that I tweeted a picture of Biloxi and said, "Saints, do you like what you see?" Because the Bears are moving to Indiana down the road. But no, there's not the population base in this state to support a pro team, even if it's one like the Saints that will be just across the border. We don't have no, unfortunately. I mean, we just lost the PGA Tour event, which makes me really, really sad. I hate that. It's my favorite week of the year here, and it's gone. But 1 through 7 in this lineup is loaded with the scrappy bottom 2 hitters, 3 starters that seem legit. What's your way too early prediction on seeding for regionals based on the first 2 weekends? Ooh, that's a good question. The schedule is really difficult, really, really difficult. If you made me bet right now, I would bet that Ole Miss is somewhere between the 15 and the 18 seed, somewhere in like that range, like very much on the hosting bubble. Schedule's very difficult. I'm still afraid of what they are in the field. But yeah, I think they'll spend the year on the hosting bubble is where I think they're going to end up. They pitch it too well to not be. But just get the SEC's loaded and the schedule is just loaded. cold at the game today. Was impressed with the pitching. No idea why the bats are a bit cold. Fielding looked weak. Why? That's been something that the radio audience is sick of me talking about for some reason. But fielding's been a problem for years now. I mean, it's a multi-year problem. They just got to be cleaner. Just got to be cleaner. All these can be improved upon. I expect will, and they are winning. They are winning. Look, there's a lot to like about this team. I think pitching's going to carry them a long way. Little brother's a Florida fan. Went to the game Saturday. First game you've been to in weeks. That arena deserves a consistent contender. Yeah, and but I'm not a fan shamer. You know that. The product did not deserve a crowd. I'm not a fan shamer. Can't say that didn't give him what he was asked for. Exactly, he cannot. Ole Miss needs to stop taking coaches looking to revive their career. You say that, but I mean, if you can hire a Chris Beard, you can. Look at what happened a year ago. I mean, second Sweet 16 ever. It worked. It absolutely worked. And again, there's a real chance that's not true, that he's not looking to get out. But if he is, then okay. Your contract is your contract. Good luck. But I do think the approach from hiring would be different this time. It's just Chris Beard became available. You can't ignore that. What do you think would happen first? Mississippi gets a pro team or Ole Miss and State combined programs? Mississippi gets a pro team would happen first, but the chances of either one of those happening is next to nothing. I mean, Mississippi would get a pro team if like the Grizzlies built a new arena in South Haven or something like that. Yeah. I do think that there's an opportunity that the state is not taking advantage of when it comes to the facility, specifically at Ole Miss and State. But you've got options where you can try to attract neutral site. I mean, how cool would it be? And I know the venue's not particularly big, but and I don't even know if the NBA would do this, but could you imagine Pelicans Grizzlies in the pavilion? I mean, I think that would be really cool. Hockey does that. I don't know if you could play a hockey game in Hemingway Stadium, but I think that the crowd would be unbelievable if you could pull that off. Things like that. You have these international soccer games that get played at Michigan Stadium and stuff like that. Like, what's stopping you at Ole Miss from hosting the Saints for 2 days of training camp? And that's an easy question to ask and a lot more of a difficult question to answer. But truly, NFL teams bounce around with training camp sometimes. You have the facilities. Could you imagine? How cool would that be? 2 days of Saints training camp in Oxford. That would be awesome. They went to Jackson, and it was a disaster years and years and years ago. Deuce McAllister told the story on our radio show about that, about how awful it was and that they'll never go back. But that was Jackson, and they weren't accommodated the way that they needed to be accommodated. Stuff like that, I would love to. I don't even know where you would start, but I do think that there needs to be a better effort in this state to try to attract things like that to it. There's just so much. There is a massive sports fan base in the state, just in general, number one, and there's so much history and ties and connections. And again, in Oxford and in Starkville, you have facilities that can do things like that. So what are we waiting on? Why is it not happening? Why is it not being efforted more? And maybe there's a really good answer for that, but And I know it's because the owner went to Wofford, but like the Panthers did training camp at Wofford. There's a lot of things that can be done here from a sports perspective that I don't think we're doing a good enough job of. What has changed for the fielding to become so poor in Urbianco the last few years? That's a really good question. I had somebody bring up the lack of athleticism on the infield to me, that they don't have great athletes. I don't know if that's real or not. I know Utermark's like a supreme athlete for his size, but I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. I'm just a yapper. I don't know that answer, but somebody that knows more baseball than me said they're not athletic enough. That's been the problem. As they're having to make difficult plays that better athletes are in better position to make the play more routine. But then again, I watched them. I mean, the Jackson State start was just horrendous. It's the regional last year. There was a lot of just routine baseball things, not athleticism things, but just like mental things that they failed in. So I don't know. It's a really good question. State of Mississippi should have some sort of neutral site facility in Madison or somewhere like that. Yeah. An MLS team, a NASCAR track, PGA something. No, we don't have the amount of people to support like a regular team, but the facility is an interesting thing. I mean, my hometown built like a 10,000 seat stadium for its USL soccer team. And it's well supported. And that's the next thing. Will people actually show up? I mean, the Mississippi Braves, the Braves did not, the facility was falling apart. It was a dump. They didn't do anything to it. They were clearly 1 foot out the door, but people didn't show up either. I mean, I've been going to those games for years, and nobody went. It was poorly attended. So, if you efforted that, got a USL team. I mean, I guess there is one in Clinton, right? Like it's at like very low level. But you got to support it too. And we just lost the PGA Tour event because they couldn't get a title sponsor, which is a shame because this past year, I mean, the attendance was awesome. I mean, people really showed up at the Sanderson this past year. Attendance was great. Crowds were great. Couldn't get a corporate sponsor. It's a shame. Can we hear the Deuce Jackson story? Oh, I don't want to put words in his mouth. It was just mostly like the hotel they stayed in was in really bad shape. Just stuff like that. Just their accommodations basically were so poor, not up to standard for an NFL team. And so they won't come back. There's more to it, but that was essentially what it is. I had no idea that the Vikings almost moved to Birmingham. Birmingham probably would support an NFL team, though, truly. If you look at the ratings for like every sporting event, Birmingham is always in the top 10, regardless. Ice skating, whatever, doesn't matter. Birmingham's always watching. It's a great sports town. They watch it all. Canes Bank Arena in Tupelo is a fine arena, but it just sits empty for long periods of times. Yeah, the Coast Coliseum is okay. They did some renovations, and it gets the job done. But I would love to know if, like, politically, what that effort is and what that looks like. If they're doing enough. Maybe they are. I don't know. I don't know. But I do think that we could try to attract more like one-off sporting events here in the state, especially now that these pro leagues and stuff are doing them on college campuses more and more and more and more and more. So how do you get your foot in the door? How does Ole Miss get a Chelsea-Manchester United soccer game on campus? People would go. I know they would. I absolutely know they would. How does that happen? How do we make that happen? I would love to know, and frankly, I would love to volunteer my time to be a part of that because people would go. You say UFC. Problem is, there's no Saudi money here. So, but yeah, I mean, there's one-off sporting events that go to niche places. Wrestling in the pavilion. I think that would do well. I'm sure that takes a lot of effort and time, but this state cares about sports too much to only have college sports teams as our only sporting events. You know what I mean? That's really what I'm getting at. We care too much. And like New Orleans and Memphis and Birmingham, like we have population centers of sports fans all around this state for us to not have more to offer than what is happening on the college campuses. And again, these things would have to happen on the college campus. I mean, the things that are currently happening on the college campuses. I don't know. If y'all know somebody in government, tell them to give me a call. I've got some ideas. All right. Anyway, so good weekend, really good weekend. We'll be back on Tuesday live, 9:00. I will see you guys then. Hope you had a great weekend. USA Hockey, it was awesome. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys on Tuesday. Y'all have a good rest of your night.
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.